Hey guys, how you doing? I hope you're doing okay. Gonna read through a full article here. There's a link in the description. And I'm gonna say that this is an odd situation. And it's a very sad situation. It's not really a crime. It's not actually, technically it's not a crime. Um, yeah, it's kind of interesting. So we'll have a look through the details. An elderly Thai man who kept the body of his dead wife in a coffin for 21 years in the room where he slept has finally bid farewell after her remains were removed to be cremated. So we're going to play that video now. I'm not going to play the audio. We'll play the audio for the first little bit. There's a warning here. Some of you may find the scenes distressing, but we'll play this, and I'll carry on reading through the article whilst you watch the video. I'll turn the audio off in a moment. I just played the audio so you can hear the elderly gentleman whose name is Chan Janwatchakal. Apologies for pronunciation. Chan Janwatchakal, 72 years of age. I just played the audio so you could hear his emotion. He's crying. He's clearly still upset. 21 years after the death of his wife. I mean, it's very touching, really. That's how I find it. I mean, it is odd. It is sad. It is touching. Um, so here he is. So the body has, or the coffin where the remains are, has been taken away to be cremated. He kept it in his house, the coffin with the body in it, for 21 years in the room that he slept in. He had two sons. They both left the home for this reason, because they disagreed with a coffin with their dead mother within the house. They weren't too happy about that. They thought that was a little odd, but at the same time, we feel sympathy for this man, and in some ways, we respect the great love that this man had for his wife. Look how distraught he is after 21 years. He doesn't want to let her go. He wants her to remain by her side. So the article tells us that, he does have a tearful goodbye. We'll replay the video. We'll replay that. He does have a tearful goodbye. Um, Charity workers retrieve the rotting coffin from the dingy space surrounded by plastic bags and other rubbish in the Bang Ken district of Bangkok, Thailand. I'm going to say a poor area. I mean, I don't know this area, but there is a lot of poverty within Thailand, and I'm going to suggest that this is likely the case with this family here, that they're likely extremely poor. Part of the reason why that may be relevant is it could be the fact that they've not had the finances to pay for a burial or to pay for a cremation. That could be an aspect. I mean, I guess over the years of 21 years, then you would imagine that charity would step in to assist at some point. So that, I guess, it's fairly unlikely that that is the main reason, but that could be a partial factor, that the father just did not have the funds, the husband rather, didn't have the funds to pay for a cremation, a burial, or a funeral that he would like to provide his wife. Could be a part of it, may not be. Speculation on my part. Mr. Jan Watchakul, a former medic in the Royal Thai Army, had requested the assistance of the Pet Kasam Bangkok Foundation to cremate his wife, who died from a congenital disease in 2001. In the footage taken on April the 30th, the workers first carefully removed the coffin from the ramshackle single-story property. So yeah, the family is very poor. The widower then sits on the ground and stares, overcome with emotion, before reaching out to touch the corpse, the remainders of a corpse. The workers rip off the decaying wooden lid to reveal the woman's blackened skeletal remains. So I'm going to show a picture of that. It's on the thumbnail, I believe. There we go. I believe this is within YouTube's terms and service. If it isn't, then this will perhaps be removed and you won't get to see it. Mr. Janwachkul touches the corpse one more time in tears before it is gently laid to rest in the ornate coffin and put his hands together in prayer. So they, if I understand correctly, they remove the remains from the coffin it was in and put it in an ornate coffin, a newer coffin, if I understand. The husband talks about his wife. He says the following. So whilst he's touching the corpse, I believe. Mum, you are just going for a brief business and you'll be back at home again soon. It won't be long, I promise. I mean, to me, again, touching words, touching words. I feel sad for this guy. He's still bereaving. He's still grieving after all of these years. It's, in a way, it's kind of wonderful. Am I wrong? It is understood that his wife had worked in the public health ministry. Over the years, as he shared a room with his dead wife, the gentleman, Mr. Jan Whatchacall, spoke to her body as if she were alive. So, I mean, I guess it's fair to say that there's perhaps some mental health issues going on here. I don't know, is that unfair? He had registered her death, so no legal action was taken against him. So this actually wasn't breaking the law. It would be if it happened in a Western nation, no doubt. And a couple of months back, I did make a video in regards to a gentleman who kept the body of his son, I believe, in his kitchen, in a coffin, for quite some time. I can't remember how long, but certainly several months, perhaps a couple of years, until authorities knocked on his door about a completely separate matter. And he said, yeah, I've got a coffin with my dead son. I think it was his son in the kitchen. So, and he faced legal action because of that. The couple used to live with their two sons, but both moved out after disagreeing with their father's decision to keep the corpse on the property. And that's pretty much the story there. So, to me, this guy is not a criminal in my mind. I think maybe I'm being a little bit too kind. I just find it tragic and I find it touching that this guy loved his wife so much that even 21 years later he finds it difficult to let go. I mean, that's kind of touching, isn't it? I guess these are at least one of the sons here. It's not fair to have subjected the children to living with a dead human. That is unfair. So I'm perhaps wrong for being overly generous towards the man, but I can't help but being touched by this situation and his love for his wife. So I'm going to wrap things up here. I don't mean any disrespect to the Thai people at all. So I hope I've handled this in a respectful way. So I'm going to wrap things up here. If you do like this type of content, please do like, comment, subscribe, share the video as you see fit. If you're new to this channel, before you subscribe, have a look at some of the other videos that I have on the channel. You might not like the content that I do. It's typically true crime stories of a very dark nature, murder, torture, abuse. Typically I go through articles that have been published the same day, perhaps the day prior, but certainly very recent true crime events, and again very dark generally, so you may not like the channel. So have a look at a couple of videos before you subscribe perhaps, but you're more than welcome if you do value this kind of content. I'm going to wrap things up here, guys. Again, Kapkun Krap, respect to the Thai people, respect to this man Jan Wachakal. Even if he has done the wrong thing, he has done so out of love. And so I wish him the best and his family the best, his two sons. And I'll thank you guys for your time.